claims everything is being expected to be straight. It's like it seems John Wayne.
It's called James. I host this news every morning.
And the Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience, ladies and gentlemen, my dear fellow Americans. Welcome to the East-West Show. I say good morning, good lunch, good afternoon, whatsoever, good evening, whatsoever, depending where you are. I really hope that you take a serious attention to what we're talking about, because for quite some time in a row, I really have the worry. So today, in talking about the worry, I have my dear friend, Mr. Chris Nebe, Hollywood producer and a political commentator, to come join me to share his thought about what's going on, what has been going on so far in front of our eyes. So, to my friend Chris, welcome to the show.
谢谢你，非常感谢。Thank you.
Every time when you're here, I want to go deeper into the issue, because when you see an issue, you see what's in front of you, you see what's behind the issue, and if you keep digging, though, you will find more, a lot more at the root of the issue. That's always a methodology that this show we adopt to go into. So now let's see what's happening on the surface in front of our eyes. So you have your sum up, please. So what's happening now?
I'm very sad. Mm-hmm. I'm very sad because America is a nation in rage and fear. Now it's half a year of 2020 is gone, and our time has been wasted. Everything stands still, and nobody knows what will happen. And the horrific images of the killing of George Floyd sparked a flame of outrage, of racial injustice, militarized police brutality, but now, you know, there is so-called political correctness is creating a raging inferno that threatens to further divide the nations. The problem is everybody is divided. There is no leadership. There is no focus.
Let me. I'm not cutting you short. I just want to throw a little insertion here by asking you one question. That if I'm right, if I understand you right, that the horrific death of George Floyd was only a sparkle.
It was the ignition.
It initiated the tons of gasoline which already stored there.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that the sparkle was only a sparkle. However, the fact is that we have a storage of tons after tons of gasoline already there waiting for the sparkle.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Go ahead, please.
And that makes me sad because, you see, America was a beacon at one time of the American way of life was a life.
The beacon of freedom, like this statue.
Was, and now it's completely in a disaster because the problem is there's no leadership. And whatever, everybody is talking something and everybody is trying to be politically correct. Like you told me today, which I think is outrageous, that now you can no longer call a master bedroom because the word master alludes to slavery.
Yeah.
That shows you the insanity.
Well, of course. I'm glad that you trusted me because I heard it over the radio.
Yeah.
And it was a saying of the protesters, right, at the demonstration, saying that the word master bedroom supposed to change because the word master has kind of connotation to refer to slavery. So they're the slaves, you're the master, right? So for slave, they have a slave quarter, and for the masters have a master bedroom. So what if we want to stretch a little bit, say master degree?
Yeah.
What if we use it in a verb form? In the verb form, I master some kind of skill. In a verb form. So shall we all change?
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. It's totally insane. For example, marches, protests, boycotts, sit-ins are welcome tactics and are welcome. But looting, vandalism, the destruction of public property, intimidating tactics aimed at eliminating anything that might cause offense to the establishment, like, for example, master bedroom, are tactics of mobs and bullies, and they are wrong.
All right. And another insertion, simply there are three groups of things.
Yeah.
Number one group is the demonstration,
Right.
the protest, right? So you have the right to do so, feel free to do so,
Right.
provided you submitted your application to the police department at a certain day, at a certain hour, at a certain block, a certain area, certain spot of the city, go ahead, do it.
Yes.
This is the number one.
Right.
And number two, you're talking about there is something, quite a bit something that has nothing to do with the protest, with the demonstration. They're looting, they're burning, they're robbing shops, they're flipping over police cars, they're burning cars, whatsoever. Those are the part of number two. And number three, we're talking about conceptually. We're talking about we're changing, and they are kind of promoting the movement of pushing a change of something, of concept. For you, we just mentioned about the master bedroom, right? So which group are you going to talk about first? I find that I have a handle on the situation now, thanks to your methodology. Yes.
I think, for example, the beheading of statues.
Yeah. Okay.
Of Christopher Columbus and other historic figures, toppling them and setting them afire is wrong. Because you cannot erase history by tearing down statues. This will be a country without a history.
Yes.
Because these men, nobody is perfect, and these men may have had in their past some association with slavery, but that does not mean that you now change
Exactly.
You cannot change history. You should learn from history.
I'm matter of fact so glad that Mr. Nebe echoes with me, because last show on Monday, I shared my view with a wonderful educator, Mr. Wei Luo, founder and the CEO of the California Sunshine Education Center. And we confirmed that the conversation that what happened in history becomes history, right? That's gone. That's the past. You only learn from history. You are not changing history, because history cannot be changed. What's done is done. Am I right?
Yeah.
And number two, you don't want to request a history with a measure, with a concept of today.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
So you echo with this, right?
Right.
Oh, thank you very much. My dear friends, it is important that we understand those statues stand for history. History, right? History means past.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, why not accept slavery? Yes, we had slavery, that's what happened, and now we think this is wrong and we are changing. But that does not mean that now you throw out everything.
Yeah.
For example,
those are kind of like a piece of metal. That's
Right.
it.
Right.
Right? A piece of metal.
Yeah.
A piece of bricks. That's it.
Right. Yeah, or for example, renaming universities, universities, streets, plazas, because those forefathers of America, American history, were involved in slavery. It's wrong to do that. Or for example, this is now another thing which is even more ridiculous. Traditional American food companies like Land of Lakes, I don't know if you know them. You know, these are apparently I don't personally know them because I'm not American, but the food companies like Land of Lakes, Aunt Jamina pancake syrup.
Oh, with the Indian tribe.
Yes.
With the Indian
also
tribe
black.
and tribe name.
Uncle Ben's rice,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I know.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Mrs. Butterworth's syrup, cream of wheat, etc. These companies have now announced plans to rebrand and rename these products. And these products, you know, some of them are almost 100 years old. And this is ridiculous. Also, for example, there is Dreyer's ice cream plans to change its 99-year-old name for its Eskimo pie.
What's Eskimo?
Eskimo pie, in order to please.
All right, my dear friends, there are lots of them to be named. With Chris Nebe, my dear friend, we're just counting. We'll take a break. We'll be right back, please. Thank you very much.
Continue to work on it now.
My name is Paul James. I host English news every morning.
And the Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audience. Yes, welcome back to the show Jack Chow on the East West. With my friend Chris Nebe, I really relied upon so much on him that we probably can work together hand in hand with his guidance in a interpretation to what's happening, what is being seen at this very moment of American today, of America in the year of 2020, right? After 243 years of the founding, now we're talking 44. We're talking about our founding fathers. We're talking about some old names. We're talking about some old statue. We're talking about Christopher Columbus, who goes back 1492 all the way to an ice cream.
Yeah. You know, the Eskimo.
What's wrong with the dryer?
The Eskimo ice cream by the Dreyer Ice Cream Company.
Oh.
It's a 99-year-old brand, Eskimo pie.
Mm-hmm.
They're renaming it now because they want no conflict with the Eskimos in the Arctic.
In American history study, you're asked to remember the name of Eskimo.
Yeah.
There are 13 of them, 13 or whatever, exact number I forget, but you have to remember those names. One of them is Eskimo.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that name?
It's ridiculous. Or for example, you see.
In California, we have Temecula.
Yeah.
Temecula is one of them. So
I didn't know.
we want to rename it?
Probably. I mean, you see, but this is all insane because it does not change the core issue. The core issue is not even slavery, and the core issue is not even black versus white or police brutality. The core issue is that the system is broken. The system which functioned for the last 100 years has been broken. For example, take the film Gone with the Wind.
Oh, Gone with the Wind, yes.
It's the Civil War epic, has received 10 Oscars, is widely considered to be one of the greatest movies of all time. and it was temporarily pulled back from HBO streaming service in response to racial concerns.
It has been reproduced for so many times.
Yes.
It remains of the number one, number one, not one of them.
Yeah.
What one of the best? I mean, the best film of the entire American history of filming.
And the novel in itself is a fantastic
Yeah.
novel. So
What's
you
wrong with
see-
that?
You see, and the music theme, Tara's theme, the opening of the film, of Gone with the Wind, was the marching, was the signature marching
Yeah.
music of
Of the South Army.
no, of the Georgia University, of the cheerleaders, and they now have also withdrawn it and is no longer on considered the march of the Georgia University. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely
In other words,
ridiculous. It's like
is the film dead or has
no,
been
no.
has
The
been
film has
reshot?
been released, but there has been some notifications being made that this in view of what is going on, etc. You see what it is? It's all hypocritical.
Yes.
Window dressing.
Yeah.
Everything, all these things, or for example, Orange County, the John Wayne Airport.
Oh yes, John Wayne Airport. Oh,
Now,
okay.
they want to change the name because 50 years ago, in an interview, John Wayne made some quasi-racist remarks. It's ridiculous. I mean, this is a Hollywood icon.
John Wayne the film and
Yeah.
the character is so famous.
It's-
Even I know the hat of a John Wayne hat.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it is all, this is all insane. Renaming the John Wayne Airport is also an absolute sign of window dressing, hypocritical window dressing. All this, what we talked about, the rebranding, the name changes, has nothing to do with the fact that the horrendous social problems of America, and they are not being addressed with this. It's all, wishy-washy. The problems are so deep, and this is why you see the killing of Floyd was just as you rightfully said. It was a spark, and
It was
the
a
whole thing
sparkle.
exploded. It
Yes,
has
yes,
really
yes.
nothing to do with him. Only the photo is so horrific with this man.
Yes.
And you see 3 other officers and an Asian American standing there and doing nothing. And that is, you see,
They're all charged, are they?
yes, they're all charged. But you see, this is something I was wondering, because I was wondering what was going on in the mind of the Asian officer, that he didn't say, look, okay, cool it. I mean, it is unbelievable. When you see this is so shocking. You remember in the Vietnam War, which there was a photo of a naked boy, a naked girl.
A little girl.
Naked girl.
9 years old,
running
yeah.
and shooting. And that changed, and then
That
another.
ended the war.
Yes. That was the horrific image which sparked the demonstrations, which ended actually, it was the beginning of the end of the Vietnam War.
And-
See, it always takes an image, and now with having all the ability to photograph everything and get everything on camera right away, and the quality of these telephone photos are excellent. Now this image of Floyd being killed will stand for this event in connection with the coronavirus pandemic, because this together, you see, has opened the wound.
Yeah,
And we
make
talk-
it even worse.
Yes, and we talked about that before. The wound was there, but there was the spark, and the spark is there. But unfortunately, you see, there is no leadership. There's no leadership in every group sort of claims to be the group, but there is no unifying leader, and the political establishment has no leadership.
Exactly, exactly. I recall that you and I, not long ago, talking about politically right,
Yeah.
right? Being politically right. At that time, people fear about the slogan or the concept of being politically right. Now we're seeing as a result. We're seeing the result, right?
Yeah.
So it is everything altogether being on the side of the politically right. For that thing only help the situation to go even worse, right? And then with the under the guidance of politically right, though, they go to after names, they go after universities, they go after statues, they go after Gone with the Wind, they go after John Wayne, even the airport, as a window dressing.
But you see, Jack, interesting, it's not only in America. For example, in Europe, you have a similar situation where all of a sudden the past is being dug up. King Leopold of Belgium, the current king of Belgium, apologized to Congo for because Congo was for almost 100 years a colony of Belgium, and they were exploiting it in a very brutal way. And hundreds of thousands of black people were killed, and very ugly. Belgium, small country in Europe. Now the king apologized. After all these years, they never, I think 60 years ago, Congo became independent from Belgium. Now the king apologized. So in Europe, you have that too. So it's all over. You see, it's all over that the system, people are.
This kind of movement leads nowhere but a heavy trouble, heavy slaughter,
Right.
right? Look at Rwanda.
Yeah.
You recall Rwanda?
Yeah,
Rwanda,
yeah,
1994?
Yeah.
They killed 2 million people
Yeah.
within like a month or something,
Yeah.
right? So that is where only thing leads to. Now, of course, we all support gay rights, right? And the LGP and then the LGBT now Q, whatsoever, we support, no problem, they're right. However, do we have to put this much of an effort in promoting the LGBTQ?
No, accept it.
Once again, my dear friend, what I say represents myself. So it doesn't form a take or policy or whatever position of my show, neither does it to the institution. It is only Jack Chow as a person, as a father of two, talking about as a man. We're talking about we support that movement. We support that right. But do we have to spend that much? Let's take my moment out. We will be right back, please.
My name is Paul James. I host the English News every morning.
And the Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audience. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow. Also, I really want to promote my face mask. I wear it in respect to my guests. In other words, I do it when my guest chooses to do. And of course, I don't when my guests don't. However, this is something I would like to recommend, all right, by the way, in a better way fashion. Okay, now back to the issue. We were exactly at the point of talking about this country being led so much on the route of being politically right so that now we see the result, right? At one of the point talking about LGBTQ, I said as a man I support their rights, no problem. Of course I go for it, right? But my question is that do we have to do that much in promotion to that?
No.
Like the same-sex marriage, right? We have laws, we confirm that the past, okay. However, do we have to go on the street and demonstrate and do a whatever?
No, I mean, and they achieved what they wanted to achieve.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Accepted. It's a socially
That's it,
acceptable
yeah.
thing. If you can't accept it,
But the
up to
problem
you.
is that with the political right, you can't say a no.
No, right.
And I even doubt when I say my question, do we have to do that much? I endanger myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
I may have endangered myself. Like I said many times with the political right thing, if they promote a law saying that everybody has 6 fingers deserve to have the right as 5, you can't say no. You can't say no. If you do say no, you are discriminating people with 6 fingers. All you can say is, okay, I accept, I support. However, do you celebrate it? Do you need to promote it in a big
If
way?
it concerns you personally, yes, you celebrate it. But if it doesn't
Yeah.
concern you, you accept it, and that's it.
Let's go out, let's hit the street, let's yell, wow, 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 we won, or something like that. 6 fingers like
You
that.
see, the
do we do
thing
that?
is, what started as a movement to denounce racist police brutality has become a free-for-all movement to rid the country of anything. Topple museums, topple monuments, anything which at any time maybe have been associated with many things wrong.
Of course, you know what, in the political right, well, there's nothing wrong with the slogan being political right,
No,
because anything politically wrong needs to be denounced.
right.
All right? That doesn't mean we have to adopt ourselves 100% to consider politically right only.
No.
All right? To give you an example, I heard this morning over the news when I was sorting the AP news, I came across a big one that the case of Harvey Weinstein came to a conclusion of $19 million of settlement. From day one, I said here in my show, I said the game for money, that's it. 'Cause that's why they want to share. Everybody want to share. Me too, me too, me too.
Yeah.
Right? So it came, sure enough, to $19 million. And the head prosecutor and the head attorney, all for the $19 million of settlement proposal. In the meantime, they say lots of things. Oh, finally, we got justice, whatever. Money equals to justice. Justice will equal somebody. That's the case. Whereas the representing attorney of the defense saying that, okay, that's exactly what we want.
First of all, the attorneys got rich, very rich on this. Secondly, question is there enough money to pay this? But you're
Yeah.
right. You see, this is this is in America. Is in the end, when you look, it's always money,
It's always money.
always money, and that is the motivation here is always money.
Okay. Now, okay, of course, with the political right though, and there is a slogan say BLM, Black Lives Matter. Everybody agrees. Everybody agrees. Nobody say Black lives don't matter. Black lives do matter,
But
right?
so do white life.
But so do white life.
So do Asian life.
Does
So
that
do-
mean? Yeah. Does that mean we have to? So I mean, yellow life matter.
Yeah.
If there's a blue, say blue life matter.
Yeah,
There's a green, say green life matter. And then the streets will be nothing than slogans.
And now, for example, the other thing, that there is a movement for repatriation payment for the descendants of slavery. So with other words, again, it's money. And I mean, this is, first of all, it will bankrupt the country, because what are you going to give? $100 to every black person? Even if you give only $1,000, it will bankrupt, the country is bankrupt anyhow. But it's always money. And you see, that is, when you understand that, you understand America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not always money in other countries.
Problem is that this situation of division being taken advantage
Yes.
by political groups.
Or for example, I heard that coronavirus test cost almost $2,000. I mean, there are millions of people who don't have $2,000. Therefore, the numbers, which official numbers, must all be wrong because the people don't
No, they're
go.
free. They're free.
No.
They are free.
The test?
Yeah,
No.
they are free.
I heard that you have to pay for it.
No, they're free. I believe they're free.
I'm not sure.
Let's find out. I believe they're free.
Find out.
I believe they're free.
I was
Go ahead.
surprised.
And we'll skip on that. Well, we
Yeah.
need to find out. I believe it's free. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
So the whole point is that under a flag or under a guidance of being politically right now, there's nothing that could be right.
no.
Right? You can go overboard forever because you are politically right.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, not the funny, but the sad thing is while all these protests go on and all these different ideologies and ideas come up, people, unarmed, people of color continue to be killed by militarized police, trained to shoot first and ask questions later. So, what does that tell you?
You know what? We're really facing a mixed pie here,
Yeah.
right? The pie being so mixed is that every portion has the problem as is of its own. And then the opposing portion takes advantage of that portion and they go against each other, right? Back then, a few days ago in a show, I talked about at the time when Christopher Columbus claimed the land, the concept, my land, I claimed it, right, was deeply rooted in his mind. And later to the white supremacists coming from Europe, they exactly adopted the concept, my land, my land, my land. So the concept had driven the Indians, the indigenous, going west on and on and on and on until they reached California, until they reached the west of Rockies, right? For settlement.
Whereby we must stress the fact that these European adventurers had the moral authority from the Catholic Church with the doctrine of discovery.
Yeah, that's their problem, yes.
Creating the exceptionalism and which authorized them, morally made them feeling superior. And that is why we are facing, 500 years later, we are facing these problems today.
Exactly.
Thank you to the Vatican.
With the combination of what you said and what I said,
Right.
and the concept of my land kept on going all the way through Martin Luther King time, through Rosa Park time, all the way
to the slaughter of the Indians, to
last century, all right,
Goes on
and is there. So now ever since we had a black president, though, the culture still remains. To the bottom of some of the Americans' mind, though, it is my land, not yours. So with that as a concept, though, I believe the officer who killed George Floyd at that very moment, to the bottom of his mind, he must say, "It's my land. What you're doing here?" All right. That's why he killed him. And to the supporters of the other three cops, they believe it's my land, including the Chinese American officer Tao. All right. Yeah. Now, that being the portion of the problem on the one side, though, yet it is taken advantage by the other group. And then they made it all the way big, a big fire, using that as a sparkle. The sparkle being a sparkle, nobody will go free after killing, but that sparkle had been used. Am I right?
Right. Yeah. And by the way, that was not a Chinese. It's Hmong. It's a tribe from the...
Not Chinese American?
No, it was not Chinese. He's not Chinese.
Asian American, right?
He's Asian, but
Asian American.
Not Chinese.
I'm sorry. Okay, my dear friend, I really hate to bring some bad things to we Chinese Americans, but whatever. Facts are facts. If he isn't Chinese American, if I'm okay, well, anyway. So let's take a moment now. We come back to continue. Really, we are talking about some serious stuff. With me is my dear friend, Mr. Chris Nebe, a Hollywood producer with a monument so high of 25 good films, and also he's a political commentator. Join me for the analysis of what's happening in the United States of America now. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Everything expected. Right. It's like it seems wrong way.
My name is Paul James. I host the English news every morning.
And a golden angel award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audience. Just welcome back to the show, my dear brothers, sisters, fellow Americans. I feel lost. I feel really lost, heavily lost, at least for the past few weeks, at least for the past for a month and a half. So with the things going on, though, I really want to look for an answer. I'm no big guy. I'm a small potato myself. As small as I am, I want to do something big if I may. Or if I take the chance to awaken my people, my folks, as my audience, to do something big, that's my pleasure, right? With me today is my good friend, Mr. Chris Nebe, a Hollywood producer, a director, and he is a screenwriter himself. He is a hell of a filmmaker himself, and he is an archivist who goes in and out the archives all the time for his film creation. And he is a political commentator. Right now, he's sharing his wisdom with me in analyzing what's happening now. So, with the politically right as a political, is it a behave
Force.
Or thought
Force.
or theory?
It's a force in this country.
Force.
A force.
Uh-huh.
It's you see, exceptionalism and resulting hegemony is part of being American. It's like each country has sort of a characteristic. And this is the American characteristic, and it is in conflict with the thought of the 21st century. You see, toppling monuments, kowtowing to political correctness by renaming airports, stopping a film like Gone with the Wind.
Stopping
and so
universities, I chanted the word a master bedroom.
So that is not the answer to the racist problems, which is an incurable disease in the land of the free and home of the brave. It has been going through 100 years. It is even subconsciously. It is not, it's not that they all go around and say, I hate white people. No, I hate black people.
How about
this superiority feeling which brought the Europeans here because they were authorized by their religious beliefs that they were better than the people they found here.
How about if we change the word of incurable to hard to cure?
To what?
To hard to cure. Hard to cure.
I think
to leave people some hope.
No, I think it's incurable.
All right, anyway, that difference remains.
It will, Jack, it will not change because you see, too much blood has been, when you see, I saw the other day paintings of what happened to the Indians here, because at that time they didn't have cameramen. I mean, unbelievable. And these, they were massacring, massacring women, children, people on old men, young men, anything, like they were really feeling like God.
Yeah.
And you see, the trouble is, and again I have to say, it's the doctrine of discovery issued by the Catholic Church, by the Vatican, and amazingly, that document is still in power. It has never been rescinded. It has never been withdrawn. In the year
officialize the crime.
Yes. In the year 2000, there were activists wanting or urging the Vatican to withdraw this, and it has never been withdrawn. You see, and this is so horrific when you think, because again, it's always lessons of history, which we unfortunately don't seem to learn. We don't seem to learn from the lessons of history.
Let me ask you a question, please. Are you saying that because of or due to the killing or slaughter in history, the seeds of hatred were planted?
Yes.
And in modern times, there goes the revenge, there goes the rebounds, there goes the reaction.
Yeah.
And for the reaction, there goes more enforcement,
yes,
including brutality.
Exactly, because you see, these actions which are happening now.
Let me finish. And because of the enforced law, because of law enforcement,
Yes.
because of the policing brutality, the rebounds became even bigger, and it goes on and on and on and on. You're talking about an escalation.
Yes, because you see, at the same time, those people who resent the people of color will say, you see, we are right. Look what they did. They did the looting. They do this. They do this. So there is, and also the action only empowers the corporate deep state, because this country is controlled by corporations, by money. I mean, you said, nobody worries about that, like Weinstein, you said $90 million.
Okay. Today is one of the very, very precious moments that I grabbed my good friend, Mr. Chris Nebe, in touching base with you about what's happening. We are now at a moment of being hit by the pandemic, which we claim to say that we have never experienced such a pandemic, but also we are hit by a political pandemic. That is, that with the guidance of the political right, we are doing our things. We're not handling our things in the smartest way. We're messing ourselves up. If we say George Floyd did not deserve to die, of course, he did not deserve to die. And yet, the death of George Floyd was only a sparkle that has ignited a whole warehouse of gasoline. That's the problem. All right. Okay, my dear friend, let's take a little moment out When we come back, we'll continue to exactly how every step on the way we endanger ourselves by wrongdoings, please.